Hey everybody, it's me Jillian again. Yes, I'm wearing the same sweater. Sometimes I just don't feel like looking for different clothes. I mean, I could. Eventually, later on down the road, I'm going to be working on my wardrobe as far as just kind of organizing it. So if you see me wear the same thing, whatever, it's still clean, it's not dirty. I just don't feel like thinking about what should I wear today on Facebook Live or whatever, walking from one room to the other. So I have a portion in my book about marketing and deceptive marketing. And here's right here in your face that I didn't even think about. Like, I know about illusion, like, I talk about illusion of choice when it comes to presidents and medical holistic. Okay. Where, I'm not saying it's nefarious. They're just giving you what you already want, which is basically being anesthetized from pain and not feeling pain. But what is deceptive about the medical holistic industry is they're selling you products that are antibiotic and calling it prolonging your life, calling it, healing. Okay. When you're selling something that's antibiotic and saying this is going to prolong your life, when actually it's shortening it, that's deceptive. And that's where Jilly Juice is so different, is that Jilly Juice is not only probiotic, but it has all the right ingredients, constituents, factors that actually promote life within your body, mind, and spirit. And yes, you have to feel pain. And so here's the thing. Jilly Juice will never ever be deceptive because we're promoting life. We're not saying that you're going to die someday. How can you promote something like Jilly Juice and still believe that someone's going to die someday? So that's where you have to understand the key points when it comes to the holistic allopathic world is look at their belief system. Ask a holistic professional. Ask Dr. Tenpenny. Does she believe in indefinite life? And she'll be like, probably not. She'll be like, no, you got to die someday. Then why are you worried about the vaccines? Why are you worried about all these different therapeutics in the medical holistic industry when you're already going to die anyways? Oh, but our practices prolong life. Bullshit, because it's antibiotic. It doesn't, just in of itself, the definition of antibiotics and all of your remedies do not promote life. If anything, they anesthetize life. Ask your latest integrative, trendy health nutritionist. Oh, do you believe in indefinite life? Ask your latest holistic professional or who just got their license. Ask a naturopathic. Do you believe in indefinite life? They're like, oh yeah. Or no, they're like, oh no. But then why are they selling their products? Oh, because it heals and it prolongs your life. Well, isn't that the very definition of your products don't prolong your life, really? And you don't believe in life either. So that's deceptive when you're selling one thing, pretending that it's going to prolong your life, when actuality, it does the complete opposite. Just ask them what their belief system is, because their belief systems are going to correlate with what they're selling. Ask Dr. Yaudim that was on Dr. Phil, do you believe in indefinite life? And she'll be like, no, whatever. And of course, because she's selling her pills, powders, and supplements. Ask Dr. Phil, do you believe in indefinite life? No, because look what he's selling. He's selling the fact that you're supposed to die someday. And so, yes, you will find that the deceptive marketing practices in the holistic allopathic world is selling you a potential to prolong your life. No, it actually is shortening your life. Oh, but you're getting some kind of relief. But look, a person has cancer and they took all these things and they survived cancer. Okay, that person may have taken that specific thing because they still had enough life within them to handle the cure. But give that to somebody else who's already at maybe 90% incapacity and they take the same cure and guess what? They passed away. So in essence, that's deceptive marketing by saying that chemotherapy and cannabis and all these different products prolong your life, when no, actually it's the person who had enough in them to survive the cures, to survive the antibiotics. It has nothing to do with that product that they are administering to you as far as chemotherapy, cancer, or chemotherapy, cannabis, and all of that. If the person survives the cure, it wasn't that product. It was the fact they had enough in them to handle. Because they could have, if they didn't do the chemotherapy or the radiation or the cannabis, they could have taken a probiotic. they could have taken, they could have mitigated again, mitigated some foods that potentially could have caused more growth that they didn't want to see. That still isn't really the answer, but I mean, that product that they took and they survived it didn't mean that was the cure. It just means that they had enough in them to handle it. And John says, I wonder if it's intentional or the blind leading the blind. I think it's a blind leading the blind. I think in reality, there is definitely huge ignorance. The medical system doesn't know anything more than the person who they're taking care of. Remember, it's practicing medicine. They know that if you release a virus, okay, they know if you release a virus, it's going to cause people to go into some kind of upset of homeostasis. And some people, because they've done enough studies on how viruses influence people and how they affect people. And so the thing is, no matter what, you're gonna be exposed to a virus at some point, whether someone released it and to force the evolution, to force, yes, maybe other things to come into play. I wouldn't put it past. This is what I was saying. There are 4 ways that the virus was released, and we have no substantiation that either one of those is the actual fact. So then you have to be like, okay, there's 4 different theories on how a virus is released, and one of them could be intentional. And if it's intentional, okay, fine. There's obviously enough for, if you have that belief system, there's enough documentation to substantiate. Oh yeah, well, it has to do with money. Look how many companies are promoting vaccines and how much it costs and all that stuff. Okay, look at the revenue stream. Okay, and then the other person would be like, well, no, it could be Wuhan or Wuhan. Well, yeah, we knew Wuhan, but like the wet market, and they already kind of knew that was going to happen. They were just preparing, just like me getting insurance, preparing for the worst, right? But not making it happen, not purposely committing insurance fraud and wanting to collect, but being prepared for just in case. So then you're like, okay, well, why does Bill Gates have the patents? Because it was a just in case. They knew something was going to happen at some point. They have enemies in China or somebody else, and somebody nefarious infiltrated and found a way to release the virus. And then they already have their insurance policies in place to make sure that they have something there so they can go and create the vaccine and the therapeutics. That's another theory. Okay, so it won't matter if it's intentional or not. The thing is that we have complete and utter belief systems that the marketing system is predicated upon, and then the medical or the marketing system has to find a way to sell the same product as if it was better than the other product, which is the same product. Just like insurance. Like I used to sell insurance. I sold farmers insurance, and the best selling points when I was selling farmers insurance, because every other insurance company is the same out there, okay, really, is the fact that teachers and doctors and nurses and policemen and firemen and lawyers and all that, they all got discounts, and other companies didn't have that kind of discount program. So that was how I was able to sell the same product against somebody else, because of the discounts that the company petitioned the insurance commission to have. And every so often, each of those companies petition to say, okay, we want people who are 55 and older to get like a huge discount. And so they'll petition that, and then they go and target that market. That's what I did, is I figured out who my market was based upon what they petitioned. And then I would go and reel them all in and quote their insurance and potentially get their business. But it's still the same product. What was the only difference is the fact that we can give them a lower price, but it's still the same product. Oh, and maybe the customer service. Oh, I'm a better customer service person than this other company. I'll be on top of your stuff day and night. You can call me 24/7. I mean, you're laying. I mean, I was laying it on thick. I mean, I was a salesperson, right? You do what you got to do to get the business. All right. So that's the thing with the holistic and the medical holistic industries. They're all essentially believing everyone should die someday. And they're selling you, like you said, John, I remember you saying this, you can die 50 million ways. Well, they're selling you 50 million ways to pass away and saying, well, my way is so much better than their way to pass away. You'll be at more peace. You'll be more at peace with this way, with this apple cider vinegar versus the chemotherapy. But it's still the same thing. You're still going to die anyways, and it's still not helping you. It's still causing you imbalances. So that's the deceptive marketing. That's the illusion of choice. Now, is it nefarious? No, it's just, in me selling farmers insurance or selling, the high risk insurance to all these different companies, is that deceptive? Well, there's definitely a fine line of how you portray the company and what it is that you're telling the customer. Is always a fine line. And I've always kind of played that fine line when I'm selling the same freaking product to different people, but it's still the same thing. And so, yes, so you'll see companies out there walk that fine line to where they're bashing their competition, but it's the same product. It's the same car. It's the same, I don't know, same insurance, the same mortgage company, Countrywide versus whatever. Okay. It's the same real estate company. I mean, what is it? Remax versus Century 21. But what's the selling point? It's the agent. It's the agency. Maybe there's specific things about the company that you agree with and who they give their donations to. Hell, I don't know. But really, that's the only difference is the personality of the company, not the actual product itself and what it's doing. It's still selling you a house or being a representation of someone that was going to buy a house or sell your house for you. So there's no difference in the product. It's the same thing, but it's just the things that people get distracted by, the personality, by the donations that the company does. So that's the same. So that's the deceptive marketing. And then there's all this language that goes along with this that you learn in college. Okay. So this is where I have to veer away from the conspiracy side of it, because yes, even when I wrote about marketing, the marketing practices with college and how they put words together to make you be like, oh yeah, when it's mostly adjectives versus facts, mostly truth versus fact, someone's opinion, someone's idea of what reality is, and you're not really getting the facts. And so now it's about, okay, the deception is the fact that medical holistic industry, as well as the politicians, are still selling you Democrat, Republican, Tory versus conservative, Tory versus labor. Okay. But it's still the same thing. It's still going towards the same pot and coming out of the same pot. They're just trying to make you feel like that one is better over the other, to make you feel like you have a choice. Okay. And maybe there's specific nuances about the party, like this person, like they maybe cater to the yin and yang of you. Now, this is the thing that was really the whole thing with duality. Okay, the whole duality and the as above, so below is about a person being split in the middle, and one side is dead and the other side's alive. And how do you cater to both sides? The as above, so below. Okay, and I used to say like a life and death. Yes, you have a lot of life and death in your body, and the balance needs to be more life than death, but there's always entities in your body that is not measuring up, and it's always going to be dying and being released, and the body's going to be regenerating. So you're always going to have that duality, the yin and yang in your body. It isn't just like, okay, you're yin and you're yang and that's it. And so I even have to change the whole thing with duality. Okay, it's like we have separated them, the two, as if they were compartmentalized and separate, when actually they're one, and how much of the yin and yang. And so the whole as above, so below is still part of the whole person. It's not something that you choose between, because even when you go to the as above the life, you still have a little bit of so below in you. How much? It fluctuates based upon the environment. Okay. And that's the same thing with deceptive marketing within the same products that are being sold. Is how do you sell the same thing to different people and make it seem like one's better than the other? Like John said, there's 50 million ways to die. Well, there's 50 million products to sell someone, how to die. Okay. Or 50 million ways to suppress your evolution. And that's what the medical holistic industry does, is they're selling you 50 million ways to basically suppress your evolution. And you will buy it hook, line, and sinker if you believe you should pass away. That's freaking awesome. I had to verbalize that. All right. You guys have a good day. Thanks, John.